You know. Okay. So, misrepresented by the history books. Well, I mean, yeah, it's true. He talked about desegregation, and he's he made he spoke the "I have a dream" speech. Yeah, he did. But there's much more to him than that. Well, Martin Luther King, talked about. He talked about like he even said one time about integration. I feel like I'm integrating my people into a burning house. Quote. And seems pretty true. I know he also talked about the black people in this country. He talked about their own emancipation proclamation. He said our own emancipation proclamation. Like to yeah, there's a speech of that on YouTube. I forget which one it was, but that one was in color. A lot of his speeches were black and white, but that one was in color. So was the I've been to the mountaintop. Yeah, I suggest, like, you want to know more about Martin Luther King? I suggest read speeches like, I've been to the mountaintop, or why I opposed the war in Vietnam, or just other speeches he made, because he is a lot different than people in the history books have made him out to be. At least the history books taught in public schools. All right. The hell. It's uh, okay, Pulitzer quotes. Or brainquote.com. One quote: "We are not makers of history, we are made by history. In the end, we will not we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The time is always right to do what is right. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor, it must be demanded by the oppressed. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. We may all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. I think I can say that. Well, our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. The quality, not the longevity, of one's life is what is important. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for which that is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take a stand for that which is true. Justice anywhere is effective. Justice everywhere. There can be no deep disappointment when there is not deep love. It may be true that the law cannot make a man love me, but it can keep him from lynching me, and that's pretty important. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual doom. Let me point out some. He pulled some. Okay. This is a quote from Martin Luther King. Capitalism does not permit an even flow of economic resources. With this system, a small, privileged few are rich beyond conscience to science, and almost all others are doomed to be poor at some level. That's the way the system works. Since we know that the system will not change the rules, we're going to have to change the system. Wars are poor chisels for carving out peaceful tomorrows. The hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood. Almost always, the creative, dedicated minority has made the world better. One of the greatest casualties of the war in Vietnam is the Great Society shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam. A riot is the language of the unheard. The man lives in two realms, the eternal and external. The eternal is the realm of spiritual ends expressed in art, literature, morals, and religion. The external is that complex of devices, techniques, mechanisms, instrumentalities, by means of which we live. Science investigates. Religion interprets. Science gives man knowledge, which is power. Religion gives man wisdom, which is control. A nation of civilization that continues to produce soft-minded men purchases his own spiritual death on an installment plan. So yeah, he's a lot different than people made him out to be. I didn't read every quote of his, but I read some. So, anyways, like he's just was a lot different man than people made him out to be. You know? Like, this bullshit that he was a conservative. He obviously was not a conservative. I think conservatives are a lot less about altruism than they are. They're more about individualism. In general, I think they're more about selfishness and, you know, individual careers, and, you know, you trying to climb your way to the top of financial society, then you know, then more like, you know, his kind of way was like the more of the way of Jesus. I'm just saying, because saying that, you know.